Hey guys, and welcome to the complete patch 5.5.3 guide for Mists of Pandaria Classic. In this video we'll cover everything this patch brings, including the Throne of Thunder raid, the new Isle of Thunder zone, legendary meta gems, RPPM trinkets, Thunderforged item upgrades, world bosses and Celestial Dungeons, and key preparation tips to make the most of the patch. Throne of Thunder is widely considered one of the best raid tiers Blizzard has created. The raid features 12 bosses with a secret 13th encounter against Raden unlocked on Heroic. This raid also introduces RPPM trinkets. Previously, trinket procs operated on a fixed internal cooldown. Once the proc happened, it can proc again until the internal cooldown is up. With the RPPM system, procs occur based on an average number per minute, adjusting dynamically depending on how frequently the player performs actions that can trigger the effect. RPPM happens about the same amount on average, regardless of how frequent events that can proc it are. More events means lower proc chance for each event, whilst less events means higher proc chance for each event. These trinkets are very powerful. For example, a fully stacked Usholace trinket grants around 15,000 intellect, which is roughly equivalent to the total intellect of a best in slot tier 14 caster. Throne of Thunder also brings Thunderforged items, which are versions of non-tier gear that drops with an additional 6 item levels. In early Mists of Pandaria, this made normal drops feel significantly weaker. To resolve this in MoP Classic, Blizzard allows non-Thunderforged items to be upgraded twice, making them equal in strength. For the first 4 weeks after the patch, upgrading a non-Thunderforged item will cost 500 Valor points in total. Beginning in week 5, the upgrade cost shifts to 2000 Justice points. The Isle of Thunder introduces a phased questing focus zone similar to Isle of Quel'Danaz. It hosts the Throne of Thunder raid, the world boss Nalak, daily quest hubs, Shadowpan assault reputation, and rare elite enemies and treasure scenarios. To enter the Isle, start the quest Thunder Calls, which automatically appears in your log when flying over your faction capital. Follow up with the Storm Gathers at the Shadowpan garrison in Townlong Steppes. Each phase unlocks new areas, daily quests, and eventually access to Nalak. Players can choose between PvE focused dailies or PvP focused dailies. PvP dailies are faster but involve combat with enemy players, while PvE dailies take longer but focus on defeating Zandalari foes. While adventuring, you may find the key to the Palace of Lei Shen, which drops rarely from enemies or lootable chests. This key grants access to the Troves of the Thunder King, a timed single-player scenario where you have 5 minutes to grab as much treasure as possible. Inside, you'll dodge traps, crowd control or defeat mobs, pull levers to unlock new routes, and choose your pet efficiently to maximize your loot. Treasure chests can contain tattered historical parchments for reputations with the Kirin Tor Offensive or Sun River Onslaught, Elder Charms of Good Fortune for bonus rolls in tier 14 raids, Shanze Ritual Stones to summon elites, gold and other valuable items. Patch 5.5.3 unlocks Chapter 3 of Rathian's legendary questline titled Two Princes. Completing this chapter grants access to the 4 legendary meta gems, Indomitable Primal Diamonds for tanks, Courageous for healers, Capacitive for strength and agility DPS, and Sinister for casters. If you're up to date on Rathian's questline and holding the Thunder King, you can turn it in to unlock 2 new quests. I Need a Champion requires you to reach Exalted Reputation with the Black Prince gained by defeating enemies on the Isle of Thunder. And Secrets of the First Empire, which requires collecting 20 secrets from the Throne of Thunder raid bosses and 40 Trillium bars. It's essential to pick up this quest before your first Throne of Thunder run. I expect that at some point Secrets of the Empire will also drop from the Celestial Dungeons, similar to Sigils of Powers and Sigils of Wisdom from the first part of the questline. After completing the collection quests, you'll progress through a solo scenario to help unlock the Thunderforged and defeat the world boss Nalak before receiving your legendary meta gem. Nalak is located directly outside the Throne of Thunder entrance, and it will be available after the Isle of Thunder transitions to its final stage of the war effort. It rewards item level 522 raid tier gloves and legs, as well as item level 496 PvP gear, and has a chance to drop the Thundering Cobalt Cloud Serpent mount. Oondasta drops similar 522 raid quality gear, but it is a tougher encounter and takes longer to respawn. You can think of Nalak as the new Shah of Anger, while Oondasta fills the same niche as Galeon, only far more dangerous. In addition to these bosses, Zandalari Warbringers and War Scouts now appear throughout Pandaria. War Scouts are powerful but manageable by a solo or duo group, while Warbringers are elite enemies that may require a full party to defeat. These rares can drop reputation tokens, and Warbringers have a chance to drop collectible mounts. Patch 5.5.3 brings the second season of the Celestial Dungeons. Enemies now have increased health and damage, and players will need to avoid lightning traps while dealing with periodic abilities inspired by Lei Shan. Each Celestial Blessing has also been upgraded with a new effect. It charges during combat, and once fully powered you can summon a Celestial ally to aid you in battle. I haven't had the chance to try the updated Celestials myself yet, but from what I've heard they are fun and quite easy. The Shadowpan Assault is the new primary faction tied to the Throne of Thunder. They offer item level 522 gear for Valor points, and their reputation can be earned by completing Isle of Thunder dailies and by defeating bosses inside the raid. For bonus rolls in Throne of Thunder, players will now use Mogu Runes of Fate, which can be purchased using the same lesser charms we have already been collecting. The older bonus coins still remain in the game and will continue to be used for tier 14 raids, including Mogushan Vaults, Heart of Fear, and Terrace of Endless Springs. Warlocks also gain access to one of the most beloved class quests in the game, the Green Fire Questline. Completing it transforms spells like Chaos Bolt and Metamorphosis into Green Fell variations. I will be covering the full quest and strategy in a separate dedicated guide. To prepare for patch 5.5.3 there are a few important steps to take. First, spend your Valor points before they reset so they do not go to waste. Consider buying Commendations of Justice so you'll be prepared once gear upgrade switches over to Justice points later in the patch. Stock up on materials such as the 40 trillion bars since they will be needed for the legendary quests and their prices is likely to increase. Make sure your main and any alts are caught up on the legendary quest line. Collecting sigils and capping valor is now much faster since sigils of powers and sigils of wisdom drop from Celestial Dungeons, and the valor cap rolls over week to week. If you already have a character revere with the Black Prince, make sure to purchase the Grand Commendations of the Black Prince, as it will greatly increase the reputation gains for all your alts. And that concludes the full patch 5.5.3 overview. This patch delivers one of the most iconic and content-rich raid tiers in the World of Warcraft's history, and there is a lot here to be excited about. If you found this guide helpful, like the video and subscribe for more Mists of Pandaria classic content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in Throne of Thunder.